Okay, so do you want to know how to use worship music correctly? Well, you've came to the right place. Alright, there are 3 steps that you need to know before you can use worship music correctly. And you just need to keep these in your mind. Keep these in your head and in your heart. Step number 1, the desire to be in the presence of God. Step number 2, a heart of worship. And step number 3, open eyes and open ears. Okay, so step number 1, the desire to be in the presence of God. Okay, so if the point of your worship music is not God-centered, then I think you're confused of what genre you're trying to play here. Because to worship is to show reverence and adoration to a deity. So, as a Christian, the one true God, the mighty God, the creator of everything. And if you're showing reverence and adoration, then there's really no reason for you not to want to be in the presence of God. It just wouldn't make sense. So, presence of God. Step number 2, a heart of worship. And like I said earlier, to worship is to show reverence and adoration to our God. And a heart of worship is having the want and the passion to recognize everything that the Father has done for us. And if you don't know why you're singing your worship songs, or if you don't really know why you're doing it, then you might need to reevaluate where you are spiritually so that you can engage in worship and be super genuine with it, with your heart, because being genuine is so important. In fact, Bible app, it says in 1 Samuel 16:7, it says that people look at the outward appearance, but the Lord looks at the heart. Okay, super important. And I can compare this to like judging a book by its cover. If you have a book that isn't really drawing your eye, there's no words on it, there's no other colors, it's just a plain book, then you're gonna think that it's a boring book. But it could be a really good book. In fact, it is. I've read this book and it's got a great stuff in it, but you wouldn't know that from the outside. And it could be the same vice versa. If you have a book that's super shiny, it's got glitter and sparkles and it's got bright letters, I don't know, if it has all those kinds of things, but you read the book and there's like no substance, there's really no plot line, there's nothing, and you're just, or it's just really boring, or you know, whatever, and you read it and you're like, not really, that's not really what this book should be all about. It's showing you something that's not really there. And the same goes for this verse in 1 Samuel 16:7. And anyone can see what you're doing on the outside and make assumptions and judgments, but God is gonna know the truth. And some people may think that you're worshiping with your heart, and maybe you really aren't, and you can't hide that from God. So it's so important to be genuine in your worship. Okay, step number 3, open eyes and open ears. Okay, to have open eyes is to be able to see what God is doing around you and in you. It's to notice the little changes and things, and big changes too, but like seeing the blessings that we don't normally acknowledge. Because we notice when God doesn't answer our prayers and we kind of get mad. We're like, God, come on, what are you doing? But we don't see the little things that He does. And to have open eyes is when you do notice those things and you're able to thank God for those and have that openness to you. And having open ears, that's kind of to not only hear the words that are being sung in songs, but to really listen and to sing them and speak them from your heart, and that you really mean them. And they're prayers into God. So if you are praying, God's going to hear that. And if you're just saying words and it's not coming from your heart, then there's really no reason for you to be singing the songs, because you're not meaning it. And why say something if you don't mean it? So after hearing these 3 steps, desire to be in the presence of God, heart of worship, open eyes and open ears, are you ready to hear how to use worship music correctly? Okay, Well, there isn't one. Well, there isn't only one. Let's put it this way. Worship music for each person is kind of like how they like their sandwiches. Okay. Some people like their sandwiches with peanut butter and jelly, you know? It's 2 ingredients between 2 slices of bread. Sometimes, I mean, I personally don't get peanut butter and jelly very often because I like a meat in my sandwiches. And so, but some people get satisfied with peanut butter and jelly, and that's great. Or some people like big sandwiches with turkey, ham, cheese, lettuce, pickles, tomato, all the good stuff. Not saying it's the only good stuff, because peanut butter and jelly is great too, but they're 2 somewhat different sandwiches. But they have bread nonetheless, and they're sandwiches, you know? And everyone has different tastes. Some people like hymns and their services. Some people like contemporary Christian music with a bunch of different instruments. Some people like a mix of the 2. And, you know, some people like completely different things that maybe I don't even know about. Maybe there's jazz Christian music that I don't know about that I would love to know about because I love jazz. But, you know, I may not like every kind of sandwich, but I like sandwiches. And it's the same with worship. So the Bible tells us that when the focus is on, like, the focus of worship is supposed to be the Lamb who was slain. And the focus that we have right now is to eat a sandwich. So that's how it coincides with each other. So why is it the Lamb who was slain? Because Jesus is the one that makes our worship possible. And side note, we shouldn't look for music to move us to sing, because God's already done something worthy of moving us. And so how can we not worship? So long as our focus of worship is the Lamb who was slain, then Jesus, and God will let the Holy Spirit move through us and among us so that we can worship Him fully with our heart. And that's what our goal is, and that's why we have to follow these steps, and that's what leads us into worship. So overall, let's just open our eyes, open our ears, find that heart of worship and our desire to be in the presence of God, and enjoy and partake in a nice, nourishing sandwich. Beautiful. Well, I'm Angelica, and now you know how to use worship music correctly. Peace and blessings.